Warning, this video contains spoilers for the Five Nights at Freddy's series. Viewer discretion is advised. Hi, I'm Dr. Dex, and welcome to the second part of the Afton Family Reunion. If you haven't seen part 1 yet, click on the eye icon in the corner of the screen to watch that. You could skip it if you want, but this video is confusing enough as it is.
Yes, and you wouldn't have a clue why a British AI lady keeps interjecting.
Indeed, that is my lovely assistant, Diana. She provides useful questions so I don't have to talk to myself like a crazy person.
Yes, instead you invented a person to talk to. That's what sane people do, right?
Moving on. Today we continue to follow Michael's story as he tries to find his murderous father. In the last video we've covered his role in FNAF 4, 2, 1, and Sister Location. But there has been a lot of debate in the comments about certain details. So let me explain some things I might have glossed over in the past. For instance, how do we know Springtrap is rotting away in the safe room in FNAF 1? Well, in FNAF 3, we hear that the safe room gets sealed in Phone Guy's final tape. Phone Dude tells us that these tapes were quote-unquote, like, prehistoric. This is evidenced by the fact that the other tapes contain instructions on operating springlock suits. These suits were decommissioned after the springlock failure that killed William's son in 1983. The FNAF 1 location is the original Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, the one where the missing children incident took place. In FNAF 2, Phone Guy tells us that the old location is left to rot and used for storage, which we can see firsthand in FNAF 3's minigames. We know it's the same location because the layout of the restaurant lines up perfectly with the map in FNAF 1. William kills his last victim somewhere in 1987, as seen in FNAF 2's minigames.
Wait, how do we know those murders took place in 87 again? I keep forgetting.
We can pinpoint this year because the FNAF 2 location opened and closed its doors in 1987.
Oh right, they were comically incompetent.
In other words, William gets springtrapped somewhere between 1987 and 1993. But you probably want some more evidence. How about this? Phone Guy states that the safe rooms are being closed due to budget restrictions, which lines up perfectly with the end of FNAF 2. Where they scrapped the toy animatronics and reopened their first establishment on a much smaller budget. This is most likely the result of the murders depicted in the minigame combined with the bite of 87. So with all of that said, I hope that little theory is cleared up now and we can finally get on with Mike.
I can certainly see why you usually stick to the big picture.
Yeah, but sometimes you just need to over-explain something to convince people. Alright, so up to this point we've seen Mike go from a troubled teen and awful brother to a walking corpse with a family comprised of haunted robots. His last stop was in the original Five Nights at Freddy's, where he got unknowingly close to finding his father, hidden in the safe room. Though there is something else special about those first Five Nights at Freddy's. I think they coincide with the nightmares in FNAF 4.
Hang on, what are you on about? This was not in the script you gave me.
I know, this is just one of those spontaneous, interesting connections I like to throw in.
Oh fine. Explain how you're going to crowbar Mike into the nightmares.
Well, it would be easy to assume that we're playing as Crying Child in these nightmares. But we're not. No, we are playing as Mike trying to get some sleep before his next shift at Freddy's. We've always known that the nightmares shared a lot of similarities with FNAF 1's gameplay, but we never really questioned why. Well, you know who would be having these kinds of nightmares? The guy who killed his brother and watches haunted animatronics for a living. It explains a lot of things actually. The similar layouts and animatronic behaviors, the weird Phone Guy Easter egg. Though I know what you're thinking. Both the nightmares and Mike shifts take place between 12 and 6 AM. Which is a fair point, but may I remind you that FNAF 4 is a nightmare, and that time is a very loose concept in dreams. All we know for sure is that Mike's alarm goes off at 6, but it does not specify whether that's AM or PM. And I don't think it's a 24-hour clock either because these games take place in the United States. In fact, the dream taking place between midnight and 6 in the morning could be another aspect of his job rubbing off on his subconscious. Regardless, it would be a great point for the "we always play as Mike" theory. Which brings us to the fun part, because Mike's next move might surprise you. After getting fired and suffering from guilt-induced nightmares, he decides to do it all again. Yes, he becomes the night guard in FNAF 3. Which means it's time to grab your torches and pitchforks, because I, Dr. Dex, was wrong on the internet. Yes, I was wrong about Henry being the night guard in FNAF 3. I'm very sorry. You people in the comments were totally right. It is Mike. I hope you can all find it in your hearts to forgive me.
So should we delete the first theory and pretend it never happened? It's pretty pointless now, right?
Well, not entirely, because it did put some vital pieces into place. I still believe Henry went to prison for 30 years, though it might have been in Utah according to some of you. Regardless, Henry gets released from prison and starts to right the wrongs of his past. But not by taking on the role of a night guard in a horror attraction based on a franchise he owns. No, that's Mike's MO. So, what's Henry's role in all of this? Well, we've experienced it for ourselves in FNAF 6. He licenses out the Fazbear brand, fills the establishment with sound emitters, and burns the place down after a week. You must be seeing where this is headed, because this is exactly what happens in FNAF 3. Yes, my crucial mistake was thinking that our custom location in FNAF 6 was the first of its kind. But we had seen it all before. Phone Dude gets the package we received in the pizzeria simulator. Phone Dude is the owner having to do the nerve-wracking sound check with Springtrap. He also told us that a guy who helped design the building tipped him off to the existence of a hidden safe room. This guy he's talking about is most likely Henry. Just like in FNAF 6, he's working behind the scenes, setting everything up. Phone Dude loves the pizzeria's dark legacy and the mystery surrounding the murders. He's basically a fanboy, or should I say, fan dude. That's also the reason he hires a night guard. He just wants the place to be as authentic as possible.
Oh my god, you're totally right. He would probably love these videos.
I like to believe he would. Phone Dude is like my FNAF spirit animal, which is very impressive considering the competition.
Hey, aren't people going to burn you at the stake for being wrong and changing your mind on the internet?
Well, luckily I already covered my ass at the end of the last episode. So... He just wants to tell a good story that fits together, and if old ideas don't gel with new ones, you just have to adjust things.
I guess you did cover your ass on that one. Nice job.
So now that we've established that Phone Dude is hiring a night guard for his horror attraction licensed by Henry, who would be crazy enough to take up such a job for minimum wage other than Michael Mother Afton? It's Mike who jumps through the hoops by playing the minigames and puts the spirits to rest, as seen in the Happiest Day minigame. Mike also finds his father, but they get separated by the fire, which is another false assumption I wanted to point out. I've always thought that the night guard was the one to burn the place down, but in hindsight, it's clearly Henry. Which also implies that he might have burned down the FNAF 1 location, either before or after Phone Dude found Springtrap. Mike could still be hallucinating the burned animatronics because he clearly keeps an eye on Fazbear-related news, hence the newspaper articles that start off most of these games that feature Michael as the protagonist. Though it is odd that the cutscene at the end of Sister Location has Mike's narration overlapping with Springtrap rising from the ashes in FNAF 3. Let me just read the whole thing without the robot voice. Father, it's me, Michael. I did it. I found it. It was right where you said it would be. They were all there. They didn't recognize me at first, but then they thought I was you. And I found her. I put her back together, just like you asked me to. She's free now, but something is wrong with me. I should be dead, but I'm not. I've been living in shadows. There's only one thing left for me to do now. I'm going to come find you. In other words, William told Michael how to access his evil lair, where Mike would find his missing family. They did not recognize Michael at first, but due to the likeness to his father, mistook him for William. So they enact their revenge and escape the facility by wearing Michael like a mascot suit. Mike survives this because of wibbly-wobbly soul stuff called Remnant. I can't really explain it. Look, for some reason when you get murdered in this universe, you leave behind a spirit that haunts your remains. The puppet came in contact with Henry's daughter after she got killed, and her spirit possessed the empty vessel. She then puts the other victims inside of animatronic suits in the Give Gifts, Give Life minigame, again linking their souls to the animatronics. Michael and William are special cases where instead of haunting animatronics, they haunt their own decaying corpses. In any case, this sequence of events starts off Michael's night guard adventure, which always ends in him being fired, or in FNAF 3's case, an actual fire. The part where Springtrap pops up at the end is just to confirm that he's still alive and ready for FNAF 6. Sadly, he didn't write a passive-aggressive song about it like GLaDOS did.
I've been writing my own lyrics just in case you ever try to betray me. I'm looking for something that rhymes with talentless hack.
Anyway, now all of the pieces come together in Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria Simulator, better known as FNAF 6. We once again play as Mike, who has taken the same deal as Phone Dude, making this Mike's very own Freddy Fazbear's Pizza.
How do we know it's Michael though?
Well, Mike had already worked at Fazbear's Fright, explaining how Henry got in touch with him in the first place. Mike looks exactly like his father, so chances are that Henry knew who he was despite his many names. To add to that, the animatronics have some interesting things to share with the protagonist. As we've established last time, Michael's family was conjoined into a mangled mess called Ennard. At the time of FNAF 6, Baby has gone off on her own again, adding roller skates to her repertoire. Henry instructs Mike to get all of the animatronics into one place. These are Michael's missing family members: Springtrap, Baby, and Molten Freddy, which is just Ennard without Baby. So what do they have to say to Michael after all of this time? His father Springtrap has an interesting line.
How can I resist a promise such as this?
It refers to a promise which could be pointing to one of a few things. William's promise to bring his family back together, or his promise to always come back. It could also be Mike's promise to find his father. It's not very substantial, but interesting to ponder nonetheless. The real giveaway is Molten Freddy's dialogue, 2 lines in particular. Together again, and one big happy family. The Afton family, reunited at last.
One big happy family, together again!
All of them have become twisted monstrosities, trapped in these robotic shells, or in Mike's case, his own dead body. There's only one way their souls can be released, as revealed by Henry's secret documents: fire. Which tells us that Henry isn't burning down his own pizzerias for the insurance money. He's trying to free the spirits that have been trapped here by William's madness, including his daughter, the puppet, who appears in FNAF 6 as Lefty.
What's the deal with Lefty anyway? Did we really need another bear?
No, but it is pretty neat. Lefty is built by Henry to put his daughter's spirit to rest. Blueprints made by Henry reveal that Lefty is equipped with a music box.
Oh, just like the one you use in the second game to keep the puppet at bay.
Bingo. The music soothes her, keeping her contained inside of the animatronic. Then Henry releases her into Mike's Pizzeria, where she can finally be put to rest. In the end, everything goes according to Henry's plan. The Aftons are reunited, and Henry burns it all to the ground, including his daughter and himself. Mike makes no attempt to escape because he should have been dead a long time ago. He sought out his father to undo the curse he had laid upon his family and so many others. Luckily, Henry had already found a way to do it. And so, thanks to the efforts of Michael Afton and Henry, the last of the victims are finally at peace. Which brings us to the end of Five Nights at Freddy's. Thank you for hearing me out on this one. I hope you've enjoyed my take on the story, and you may even agree with it. If you have anything to add, please leave a comment down below. I couldn't have put this all together without you. The theory that started all of this was wrong, but thanks to your comments, we've pieced it together. Being critical can only get us closer to the truth in the end, so never be afraid to share your own theories. In any case, this has been the last FNAF theory for at least a while. Like I've said before, I don't want to force these videos, so the next theory will be about an entirely different game.
Oh, thank God. If I had to listen to one more of your stupid stories about furry robots, I would have put a contract out on you.
Thanks for the warning, Diana. So join us next time for something not FNAF related. I hope to see you there. Remember to like and subscribe to guilt me into being productive, and don't forget to click the bell if you actually want to get notified when I upload a video. This has been a 2-part theory by Dr. Dex. I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you all very much for watching, and have a good one.